Welcome to the dedication of the RCC Fabrication Lab. This is another one of those exciting events that we have been doing the last year or so at RCC. It's kind of nice when you do a lot of work and things start to come to fruition. But I'm going to give you a little speech and introduce some people, and then we'll talk about some tours, and we'll get out of this sunlight. If you think it's warm under there, you ought to be out here. A strong manufacturing sector has traditionally been recognized as the core foundation to economic success in the nation and in this state. While North Carolina has lost thousands of manufacturing jobs over the last decade, there are indications that manufacturing is coming back. What's threatening this return, however, is a lack of skilled workers. A report 2 years ago by a consulting firm in the Manufacturing Institute states that shortages in skilled workers, that includes machinists, operators, craft workers, distributors, technicians, and more, are taking their toll on the manufacturer's ability to expand operations, drive innovations, and improve productivity. And another recent report in the Triad Business Journal indicated that around 3,000 skilled jobs are going unfilled in the Triad region, and that is because there are not workers to fill them. The RCC Fabrication Center was created in response to the need by advanced manufacturing and other high-wage technical occupations in the region for a highly skilled technical workforce. These occupations include automation, aerospace, automotive, food processing, transportation, and logistics, and plastic, rubber, metal, and wood fabrication. RCC's center consists of a lab, which is in room 106, our existing welding lab, which is in room 107 right here, and a brand new advanced welding lab, room 108, and as well as another fabrication lab down here. I'm reminded at times like these of the famous rock and roll song, "With a Little Help from My Friends" was the original title. Originally recorded by the Beatles and later covered by 50 different artists. It is no secret that we are in a tough economic climate in Rockingham County, and jobs have been lost, and that we may have one of the highest unemployment rates in the state. But in times like these, when money is tight, RCC depends on our friends and supporters to help us help the community. We are the primary workforce trainer in Rockingham County. But it takes a lot of help to provide the kind of equipment and facilities that we need to provide the training that we provide. Today we are here to dedicate this fabrication center and to recognize the people, businesses, and organizations which made this possible. Our friends include MillerCoors, who gave us the funds, over $4,000, to purchase a hydraulic tube bender and 9 dies, totaling, as I said, more than $4,000. Former RCC trustee, Garland Rakestraw, who purchased 4 pieces of equipment: a horizontal bandsaw, an iron worker, metalworking machine, a drill press, and a vertical bandsaw, totaling more than $14,000. The Golden Leaf Foundation, with a $496,000 grant for the new Advanced Welding Lab, they enabled us to double our capacity in welding, and it is a really cool-looking welding lab. With those funds, we have renovated a space for the new lab and purchased 17 welding booths and 35 additional welders, and a plasma cutter. We are also in the process of making improvements to our existing welding lab. Duke Energy, who gave us a grant of almost $61,000, and we purchased a VRTX 360 welding simulator, which you'll see being demonstrated inside. A very, very cool piece of equipment. Complementing the Fabrication Center are other RCC programs, including our Computer Integrated Machining program. We again have Golden Leaf Foundation to thank for those funds. RCC, along with 4 other community colleges in the region, were awarded an Essential Skills Grant, which enabled us to purchase a new Haas ST10 computer numerical control lathe. That's in room 112D over there. There's also food over there, at a cost of $65,000. Golden Leaf also provided RCC with $5,000 in professional development so that we could learn how to use that machine. With the addition of a second welding lab, as well as the rest of the Fabrication Center and related areas, the college will be able to increase the number of skilled workers in the region and also ensure that those workers are well trained to meet the needs of employers. We asked those companies and individuals who were mentioned previously to say a few words about why they chose to help us in this endeavor. And it is my pleasure right now to recognize Jim Smith, Mr. Jim Smith, Vice President of MillerCoors Brewing in Eden, who will say a few words.
Thanks, Dr. Helmick. Appreciate the introduction. MillerCoors has been a part of the Rockingham community for over 35 years now. So our facility has been in place for 35 years, and over that time, we've had many of the residents of the community come to work for us. I've been at the Eden facility now for 6 years, and I can tell you in that 6 years, we've hired over 200 people into this community, all of them with a prerequisite for having technical skills. We're looking for the employee of the future to not only be able to operate our equipment and manage our processes, but also bring an aptitude that allows them to service our equipment and processes going forward. So we definitely are a big supporter of what RCC is doing here. We think it's valuable, not only to us as a business, but certainly as a community as we look to have other businesses recruited into this community. So the work that you're doing here is valuable, and as I've said, I've seen it pay off for us in the 6 years that I've been here. So I want to thank RCC for what you're doing, and obviously we'll continue to be a major supporter of your efforts. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. As a longtime trustee at RCC, Mr. Garland Rakestraw has been a huge supporter of the college. He has given unselfishly of his time and money to make this college a better place, and we are grateful for his generosity. Mr. Rakestraw, will you come forward and say a few words to us about why you chose to be a part of this project?
I'm very happy to be a part of this occasion. My heart is really with RCC. I didn't know until I arrived that I was down to give a few remarks, but I could talk for an hour or two or maybe more about RCC. I started in 1978 on the foundation, and on that and the trustees together, I served until 2010, total of 32 years. So I've made many trips over here, and they all were very enjoyable. I give a lot of credit to the foundation for what's going on here at RCC, and particularly Gay Clifton and Diane Howland and their staff. I was on the committee that interviewed Gay Clifton, I think it was 1990. A number of applicants applied, and I think we chose the right person. I'd like to say, too, something most of you may know, but to remind you, the foundation has the highest amount of funds on hand per capita, per student, of any foundation in the state of North Carolina. Of the 58 community colleges, RCC has the most money per student in the Treasury. I think I stand corrected on that, Dr. Helmick, do I not?
You are correct.
Thank you. Anyway, it's a pleasure to be here, and my heart goes out to RCC and the foundation for what the foundation is doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rakestraw. In addition to this project, Mr. Rakestraw also provided funds for the vocational center, vocational career center located in the Whitcomb Student Center. That facility helps students learn about and choose the right career goal or the right career path. In addition to the fact that he mentioned the piece about our foundation, it is the reason why most students who leave RCC leave here debt-free, because of our foundation. We provide more funds for our students than most other colleges actually have in their foundation, and we're very proud of the fact that our students leave here virtually debt-free. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Mark Sorrells from the Golden Leaf Foundation. We are certainly grateful to the generosity of the Golden Leaf and for their faith in RCC, and additionally for their generosity to the college. Were it not for their help, we would not have the level of sophistication and the equipment that you will see here today. It is fitting that Rockingham County, with its long dependency on tobacco farming and production, would be able and be the beneficiaries of help from Golden Leaf Foundation. So help me welcome Mark Sorrells.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Golden Leaf Board of Directors, I am pleased to be here to celebrate with you the opening of these two advanced manufacturing labs. Golden Leaf got interested in this work 2 years ago when we started talking with a number of plant managers around the state during the height of the recession. Many of them said, we've got jobs, we just can't find individuals with requisite skills to hire. So we started working to figure out what we could do, and we looked at a number of things. And we knew that the community colleges were the right place to put those resources to work. So we put together a statewide competition, $8 million for advanced manufacturing to upfit, not to start new programs, but would be demand-driven. Show us that there are jobs in your community. Show us that you've got good training programs that are providing quality training where you've got a gap in the ability to train the number of people that are required to fill the work, the employment positions that are open in your community. We had about 32 applications. We awarded 14 awards or grants to a group of 22 community colleges serving 25 counties, the majority of which were Tier 1 counties. I will tell you that Rockingham Community College stood out as a no-brainer to make an investment. Matter of fact, this college walked away with $570,000. No other college walked away with more than $450,000. So you should congratulate Dr. Helmick, Tony Gunn and his team, the instructors, David White. They did a marvelous job of crafting a very competitive proposal as well as making the case known that they were doing quality work and they had good relationships and the confidence of industry in your area. We're excited to have MillerCoors here. Dear Hitachi, I think, is here as well. It's a great time to be back in Rockingham County. Dan, my boss, was here about a month ago to put $1 million on the table to bring 500 jobs into your community with Ruger. We're very excited about that. Advanced manufacturing is on the uptick. Matter of fact, the last board meeting, we did 5 projects. All 5 were manufacturing, and one of those was here, Ruger. 4 of them were in Tier 1 counties, and about 80% of the projects we're seeing and working with the McCrory administration to help bring into the state are in manufacturing. So thank you for what you do. Thank you for the support that you provide. I'd like to get the county commissioners and any of the state representatives that might be here, Board of Trustees, to come up. I've got a, now they've already cashed a check, so Dr. Helmick, don't try to cash this one too. I've got a ceremonial check to present on behalf of the Golden Leaf Foundation. So if those members would come up, it'd be great. Any board members, Board of Trustees? Dr. Helmick, congratulations. We know this is a great partnership. We have a lot of confidence in your staff, in you, and the relationship you have with industry. Thank you. Thank you. Let y'all keep that. Y'all can frame that one now. It won't cash.
Leave that one in my office as a reminder. Next and finally on our program of speakers is a person who has been a longtime friend of Rockingham County and especially Rockingham Community College. Davis Montgomery is here today representing Duke Energy. Duke Energy has for years shown its confidence in RCC by helping with a variety of projects that have allowed the college to provide training to meet the needs of our local manufacturers. Not only do they provide the energy that drives our programs, but they help us use that energy efficiently and effectively. Davis, I am pleased to report that all of our new equipment on display here today uses electricity. He got on me recently for touting the benefits of gas. And thanks to Duke Energy, we are showing some of the most efficient uses of electricity in the industrial environment. So ladies and gentlemen, Davis Montgomery.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much. I just want to take a few moments and say just a few words about how glad we are at Duke Energy is to be a partner or to be involved with this exciting facility that you have here at Rockingham Community College. Before I get too far down the road, let me introduce our Vice President of North Carolina Government Community Relations, Mr. Mike Hughes, standing over here to my left. And I'm also going to take the privilege of the podium to talk a little bit about our connections to Rockingham Community College. Our state president for North Carolina, Mr. Paul Newton, grew up in Rockingham County. I won't tell you which high school. There's some sort of rivalry between his high school and one of the other high schools in the area, but he is from one of the Eden high schools, if that helps you kind of pin that down a little bit. But we not only have those connections, we have 2 generation facilities in this county. We have an operations center in this county. We have a lot of infrastructure in this county. So we're not only an employer and a partner with you folks, our employees are also your neighbors. So we're very proud to be a part of this today. Maybe some other connections to talk about. We've all heard from Governor Pat McCrory about how important it is to bring jobs and business and industrial manufacturing jobs back to North Carolina, and how important that is. Some of you may know that prior to being elected governor, Mr. McCrory worked for a very nice, very good electric utility company with its headquarters just right down the road in Charlotte. And workforce development, as he knows, and as we know, is a very important part of what Duke Energy promotes in our community. So it's very important to us, and it's something that we take very, very seriously. So we appreciate the partnerships that we're able to forge with some of our community partners. As we look around, and as several of the speakers have talked about, we've seen the Caterpillar plant being built over in Forsyth County. We've seen Honda Jet and I guess the whole aviation hub that has been created down in Guilford County, just right across the line, and all the jobs that come along with that. And of course, the most exciting and the recent announcement about Sturm Ruger bringing 450 to 500 jobs right here in Rockingham County. That means we're starting to see a return of manufacturing and industrial customers to our service territory, and that is indeed very good news. For those reasons, we feel like this facility is exactly the right kind of facility to be built at this time to help the Rockingham County men and women be competitive applicants for those jobs, and not only those jobs, but those careers is what we hope they provide for them. So Dr. Helmick, to you and your staff, again, thank you for this partnership, and congratulations on, I guess, the vision and the leadership that make this facility possible. Thank you all very much.
If it were not so warm out here, I could wax eloquently about how efficient and effective community colleges are at training the workforce. We are the best money that is spent in this state, I think, for training. And this institution will be what brings this community back from the brink of economic collapse to what will be, I think, a very vibrant community in the future. One small story, we mentioned Sturm Ruger, who is a firearms manufacturer who is relocating to this county. What you may not realize is that they're doing their pre-training on this campus. We provide facilities for them to bring their management team in there. We made the ultimate sacrifice. They hired our human resources director for their human resources department, and which is a good thing from our perspective because she already knows this environment. We hope that she doesn't borrow some of our folks, but students would be great to recruit. But one story about Ruger when they were looking at this county is they showed up on our campus to view our facilities. And as it just so happens, and sometimes coincidence is really terrific, as it just so happens the day that they arrived, we were installing the high-speed lathe that will be on display over here. You heard me mention earlier, computer numerical control lathe. And as they walked in and looked at it, they said, that's exactly the same model that we have on our production floor. So if you don't think that didn't help them make up their mind about coming to Rockingham County, you may want to think again. You know, as previously stated, it is a partnership that made this state-of-the-art facility possible. In addition to the donors who have just spoken to us, Rockingham County, the government, plays a very vital role in everything that we do because they are the people that provide the facilities for us, and they do a great job of that. I want to thank the Rockingham County Commissioners and recognize the two who were here, Keith Mabe, whom you saw earlier, and Mark Richardson, two of our county commissioners, and I also saw there he is, Lance Messler, who is the county manager. Please join me in thanking them for providing the facilities out here. We appreciate your faith in the college, and we plan to live up to that. Others who have helped bring this project home include contractors and members of the RCC staff, and I cannot tell you how much work the RCC staff has done on this project. First, the contractors, Wright and Ray of Eden. David Southard was a project manager. Are they here? I didn't see them earlier. I'm not sure if they made it. Subcontractors include Wayne Ellington, electrician, and Tim Billingsley of Billingsley Plumbing in Reedsville. The RCC staff, who, again, I cannot go on enough about how hard they have worked. Laura Coffey, who is Dean of Workforce Development at the college. Our faculty includes Chris Brooks, I knew I would get that wrong, Chris, sorry. Chris Brooks, John Cruz, Keith Elliott, Anthony Edwards, Will Sawyers, and David White. I want to give those guys a special hand because they did a lot of the work that you see. Perry Hughes is also the chair of the Department of Career and Technical Education. We stole Perry out of Virginia a few months ago, and he has done an incredible job so far. Perry, thank you for the work that you're doing here and also out in the community. He's a great contact, so if you haven't had a chance to meet Perry, make sure you do that. Also want to thank former Dean of the division, Mike Frazier. He is retired. RCC's maintenance staff, Jeff Knight, who is the physical plant director here, and also thanks to Chip Cardwell, who made sure that the buildings were clean today. He's the technical building custodian for his extra work. I want to thank him for his extra work. Also want to thank Gay Clifton and Jeanette Webb with the foundation. Gay, unfortunately, is recovering from a little illness, and she couldn't be with us today, and Jeanette stepped in there and carried off everything so that we had a production today. But I especially want to thank somebody who was mentioned earlier, and that's Dr. Tony Gunn. Dr. Gunn wrote the grants that you see here through some reorganization. Dr. Gunn has sort of tolerated my reorganization attempts, but he has moved into an element that I think he is very strong in. And he helped us write these grants, but he also does the construction piece. So all the aggravating things that go on in construction fell on Tony's head, and he has done an exemplary job. So if you all would help me thank Tony. I hope that you all will agree that this facility is a much needed to RCC, and that good stewards, and as good stewards to the funds provided to us, we pledge to keep this area full of students and continue to train the local workforce. If you are inspired to help grow this facility, the college's needs in the area continue. And as it just so happens, there's a list of those needs right over there. So if you are in business and industry and would like to help us with one of those, that would be terrific. But our wish list includes things like a 3D printer, a 5-axis milling machine, a forklift, a robotic welder, a head house and greenhouse for our facility that is not here, it's located out of ways, and a computer-integrated machining simulated work cell. So please don't be shy. If you would like to help us with those, we'll be glad to talk to you about that so that we can continue to grow. Those attending today are invited to take a tour of the Fabrication Center and the related areas, and we have it pretty well mapped out. There are stations all throughout the tour, including a demonstration of the welding simulator that's inside the building. And I promise you, most of the spaces are air-conditioned. Those tours will be led by members of our admissions staff, so I'm going to have them raise their hands. Kristen Marsh, Derek Satterfield, Melanie Ely, and Lynn Dickerson. Also, Bob Loudermilk is available. There will be people at each of the stations, so that if you miss your tour, we don't make you have a ticket to get into each one of those. There will be somebody there explaining it. So if you just really want to hang out and see what one thing is doing before you move on to the next, that would be great. But it basically moves in a circle around this way, or you can start this way and go that way. But it will start at the end building down there, and it will start here and go the other way. You all enjoy your tour. We very much appreciate your participation today. We hope that you agree that we are not your typical community college. We are going to help this community grow, and it will be with people like you who support us that will happen. So thank you.